Tonight, the I-Team looks at one local company that may be taking advantage of young workers. And a leading labor attorney says they may even be breaking the law.
Investigative reporter John Mercure has a warning for those hoping to clean up at a summer job. John.
Mike Carroll, in this tough economy, people are grabbing work wherever they can find it, and they're apparently willing to put up with conditions that most of us would run from, even if those conditions could be illegal.
Keeping cars clean can be big business. And some former employees at this Grafton car wash say it can also be a dirty business.
Sitting around waiting in the room was pretty much my job and not getting paid.
Our investigation uncovered numerous examples of workers apparently being shortchanged.
So you might be at the car wash for 6 or 8 hours, but only get paid
for like 3-4 hours, yes.
Labor lawyers say it's unethical and likely illegal.
I've never seen a case that presents this egregious of an example of failing to pay employees for time worked.
And we'll head to the car wash looking for answers.
Are you taking advantage of some of these car wash employees?
Full-service car wash in Grafton. Like most car washes, some days the traffic's steady, some days not so much. Kevin Meyer says he was hired with the promise of 40 hours per week. He claims he was at the car wash at least 40 hours a week, but was only paid for a fraction of that.
Show up around 7:50, walk into the building, not get punched in, sit around in like the like the side room or whatever for a couple hours.
How many hours a week would you say you usually would spend in the building?
Probably 50, 60 hours.
And how many hours a week would you get paid?
20, 25, like half that.
Nick Bidenbiter says the same thing happened to him repeatedly.
Sometimes I'd ask after waiting around for an hour or two if I could leave, and they'd say, well, we'll punch you in 15 minutes, and then 15 minutes would go by. We'll punch you in 20 minutes, and just sitting there waiting. Sometimes we get punched in for 10 minutes for a car, and then 2 hours later a car would come in, get punched in for 10 minutes, do that car again.
Renowned labor attorney Jeffrey Hines says what the workers are describing is highly illegal.
What this law says to employers is it may be your call not to schedule employees or even to send them home early, but it is not your prerogative to have them come into the workplace and then place them into a virtual compensation limbo whereby they don't even know if they'll be paid for the hours that they showed up that day.
Meyer claims after hours of sitting around not getting paid, he'd actually ask the manager if he could go home.
It's like, can I leave? He's like, you better not leave. I'll write you up or fire you or terminate you.
The situation you described would give new meaning to the term egregious. This is way over the line to the point where in my entire 27 years of practice, I haven't even seen a situation like this come up.
How's it going, Ron?
Dave Lycum owns the Grafton car wash and 3 others, including this one in Hales Corners. Listen to his reaction when I told him the stories I'd heard from more than half a dozen current and former employees.
I guess that's possible, and however, again, that employee doesn't have to stay. They can simply say, you know what, this is BS, man, I'm out of here.
Lycum told us the problem was a bad manager who no longer works at the car wash. Then he went back to attacking the workers who are complaining.
If they're so unhappy with the job, why don't they go and look for something else? You know, they're getting hours here. I'm not standing there with a whip.
Full-service car wash could help us get to the bottom of a lot of these issues. The employees involved say that we can see their time cards, their work records. The owners here refuse to make that happen.
Are you taking advantage of some of these car wash employees?
No. Absolutely not.
If these allegations are true, then I think this employer should be held fully accountable, and hopefully this case will be an example as well as a deterrent to other employers from engaging in these same types of behaviors.
What would you say to kids now that are maybe thinking about getting a job there?
Don't do it.
Try to find something else before you try to go in there.
Find a job that'll actually pay you for like your hours that you're spending at your job.
Hours worked, pennies paid, questions unanswered.
And most of the workers in our piece no longer work at the car wash. I did speak to one current worker today who told me that since the beginning of our investigation and our conversation with the owner, the apparently illegal activity has stopped at least for now.
Does the car wash have any history of running into either legal or labor trouble in the past?
Well, Mike Carroll, they're definitely on the radar of the state. There's no doubt about that. Dave Lycom's full-service car wash company was audited. They were investigated by the state of Wisconsin. The company was actually forced to pay $20,000 in back overtime that employees were owed.
Got to follow the law.
That's
Okay,
right.
John, thank you very much.